Most SpongeBob episodes make us laugh, but some are surprisingly heartbreaking. Today we're diving into two of the saddest SpongeBob episodes ever aired, where our favorite sponge faces loneliness, heartbreak, and the struggle to find happiness. Get ready because these stories are more emotional than you might expect. One bright morning in Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob wakes up happier than usual because he knows he's going to visit one of the most important people in his life, his grandma. For SpongeBob, visiting his grandma isn't just a normal visit. It's a special moment filled with warmth, comfort, and love. As he walks excitedly toward her house, he imagines all the wonderful things she always does for him, baking fresh cookies, pouring warm milk, and welcoming him with the biggest hug. The moment SpongeBob arrives, his grandma opens the door with a smile that instantly makes him feel safe and loved. She hugs him tightly, kisses his cheeks, and invites him inside, where everything feels cozy and familiar. SpongeBob happily sits in her rocking chair while she brings him a plate of freshly baked cookies. As he eats them, his grandma gently kisses his forehead and cheeks the same way she has done since he was younger. To SpongeBob, these moments feel perfect because he knows his grandma loves him unconditionally. However, things begin to change when SpongeBob returns to the Krusty Krab for work. As soon as he enters the restaurant, Squidward immediately notices the lipstick marks from his grandma's kisses still on SpongeBob's face. Squidward begins laughing and sarcastically calls SpongeBob a baby, teasing him for still visiting his grandma for cookies and kisses like a little kid. At first, SpongeBob tries to laugh along, but the teasing starts to bother him. The more Squidward mocks him, the more SpongeBob begins to question himself. He starts wondering if maybe Squidward is right. Maybe he really is acting childish. The thought slowly grows in his mind until it becomes impossible for him to ignore. SpongeBob begins worrying that everyone in Bikini Bottom sees him as immature, and he becomes determined to prove that he's grown up. The next time he visits his grandma's house, everything feels different. Instead of running to hug her like he normally does, SpongeBob walks in slowly and tries to act serious and mature. When his grandma happily offers him cookies and kisses, SpongeBob awkwardly refuses and pretends that he doesn't want those things anymore because he's too grown up. His grandma looks confused and slightly hurt because she doesn't understand why SpongeBob suddenly doesn't want the love and affection he always enjoyed. SpongeBob continues pretending to be mature, but inside he feels uncomfortable and unhappy. The things that used to make him feel warm and loved are now the very things he is rejecting just to avoid being teased by others. Eventually, the pressure becomes too much for him to handle. SpongeBob finally breaks down and starts crying in front of his grandma, admitting the real reason he changed his behavior. He tells her that Squidward made fun of him for acting like a baby, and now he feels embarrassed every time she shows him affection. Instead of becoming angry, his grandma gently comforts him and explains something very important. She tells SpongeBob that growing up doesn't mean you have to stop accepting love from the people who care about you. She reminds him that no matter how old he gets, he will always be her little sponge, and there is nothing wrong with that. Hearing those words makes SpongeBob realize something meaningful. The opinions of people who tease him shouldn't matter more than the love he shares with his family. In the end, SpongeBob happily accepts his grandma's cookies and kisses again, but this time he does it proudly, without feeling embarrassed. The episode ends with SpongeBob understanding that affection and kindness are not signs of weakness or childishness. They are signs of love. This episode feels especially emotional because it reflects a real-life struggle many people experience when they try to grow up too quickly or hide their feelings just to avoid being judged by others. Through SpongeBob's experience, the story reminds viewers that it's okay to accept love from the people who care about us, no matter how old we are, and that the simple moments of warmth and family can sometimes be the most meaningful parts of our lives. In Bikini Bottom, the Krusty Krab is known as the place where SpongeBob spends most of his life happily cooking Krabby Patties. And for SpongeBob, the job of being a fry cook isn't just a way to earn money. It's the thing that gives his life purpose and meaning. Every morning, he wakes up excited to go to work, polish a spatula, and serve customers with the biggest smile on his face. But one day, everything suddenly changes in a way SpongeBob never expected. Mr. Krabs, who is famous for caring more about money than anything else, begins calculating how much it costs to pay SpongeBob's salary. After doing the math, he realizes he could save a small amount of money if he simply replaced SpongeBob with an automated machine that cooks Krabby Patties. Without thinking about SpongeBob's feelings, Mr. Krabs makes the cold decision to fire him. When SpongeBob hears the news, he's completely shocked and heartbroken. For the first time in the entire series, SpongeBob is forced to leave the Krusty Krab without his spatula, without his uniform, and without the job that defined who he was. As he slowly walks away from the restaurant carrying a box of his belongings, the scene feels unusually quiet and sad because SpongeBob isn't just losing a job, he's losing the thing he loves most in the world. Back at home, SpongeBob struggles to understand what his life is supposed to be now. Patrick tries to cheer him up by suggesting that being unemployed means he can spend all his time having fun, something Patrick calls fun employment. At first, SpongeBob tries to enjoy it. He spends the day jellyfishing, blowing bubbles, and playing games with Patrick. But despite all the fun activities, something still feels empty inside him. The truth is that SpongeBob doesn't just enjoy cooking Krabby Patties, he feels like it's what he was meant to do. Eventually, SpongeBob begins searching for other jobs around Bikini Bottom, hoping to find something that can replace his role at the Krusty Krab. But every job he tries ends in disaster. Whether he works at another restaurant, a store, or any other place, SpongeBob always ends up accidentally cooking Krabby Patties again, because that's the one thing he knows how to do better than anyone else. Meanwhile, at the Krusty Krab, the machine Mr. Krabs installed begins causing serious problems. The robot might be able to cook burgers quickly, but it doesn't have SpongeBob's care, passion, or attention to detail. Soon, the restaurant falls into chaos as the machine malfunctions, destroys parts of the kitchen, and drives customers away. Mr. Krabs finally realizes that saving a few coins cost him the one employee who truly loved the job. As the Krusty Krab becomes more and more chaotic, Mr. Krabs understands that SpongeBob wasn't just a worker, he was the heart of the restaurant. Eventually, Mr. Krabs runs through Bikini Bottom searching for SpongeBob so he can fix his mistake. When he finally finds him, he apologizes and offers SpongeBob his job back. The moment SpongeBob hears those words, his face lights up with pure happiness because he finally gets to return to the place where he belongs. He rushes back to the Krusty Krab, grabs his spatula, and begins cooking Krabby Patties again with the same excitement he always had. The restaurant immediately returns to normal. Customers come back, and the chaos disappears. The emotional weight of this episode comes from the way it explores a surprisingly serious theme for a cartoon: the idea that people often tie their identity and happiness to the work they love. For SpongeBob, losing his job wasn't just inconvenient, it made him feel lost and unsure of who he was. Watching him struggle to find meaning without the Krusty Krab shows a deeper side of his character that fans rarely see. By the end of the episode, the story reminds viewers that passion and dedication cannot simply be replaced by machines, and that sometimes the things we love doing are the very things that define us. And that's it for today's journey through some of the saddest SpongeBob episodes ever aired. From SpongeBob struggling with embarrassment and loneliness in Grandma's kisses, to losing the job he loves in SpongeBob You're Fired, these stories remind us that even in Bikini Bottom, life isn't always just laughter and fun. It can be emotional, heartbreaking, and surprisingly deep. Which of these episodes touched you the most? Or maybe there's another SpongeBob moment that made you feel all the feels. Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends so they can experience the emotional side of SpongeBob too. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because we're diving into even more SpongeBob stories, mysteries, and dark episodes that you won't want to miss. Remember, behind all the fun and laughter, sometimes the biggest lessons come from the saddest moments. And that's exactly what makes SpongeBob so unforgettable. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure under the sea.